Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy Monday night to join me. I really do appreciate it. Shout out to all my, people that stay and watch all the videos that I post in sequence, as if they're actually loyal subscribers. At some point, I promise, okay? Hopefully this channel does it sooner than later, but there will be millions of people here and at least hundreds of thousands watching each cast, so I appreciate you being here on the ground floor. Speaking of the ground floor, let's get into today's sponsor. I'm just kidding. Anyways, who would sponsor me? Who would ever imagine doing that? The first in the moment that I get my first sponsorship on YouTube, will rewind back to this video and I'll be like, that was the person that did it. Anyways, tonight let's talk about why I'm feeling a certain type of way about how I think people are addressing this whole Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs conversation, and how it's impacted this dude so much that I kind of feel like if I had the means, I would buy tickets online and not go into the theater, because I'm not really interested in seeing the movie so much as I actually support the lead actress, who everyone's trying to gaslight into feeling a type of way and associating it with a fairy tale that involves a kid. And at the fundamental premise of everything, you got boomers pushing an agenda out there that clearly is stating that they don't want, or they don't need to hear the truth from people that actually are heard, namely lead actresses in historical legacy films that are of high American value in heritage ways, I would say, because again, Snow White in and of itself isn't a racist cartoon or an animation. I mean, I almost feel like there is empirical evidence to maybe argue that the founder of the company that made that cartoon was very much entrenched in his own sort of mental health issues as it concerns the idea that his race or any race is better than any race to begin with, then he actually may have been a racist. It may be uncomfortable for you to hear out there, but unfortunately, it is the truth. There's empirical evidence that is clearly, showing a kind of way that Walt Disney himself was, and that is public domain. You can't create fiction from reality. I mean, I guess you could, and in that case, you'd really want to if you were on their PR team. But the fact of the matter is the guy was supporting the Nazis. I'm not going to call him a Nazi because I'm not sure if it went to that extent. But as far as supporting the idea in and of itself of Nazism and the persecution of innocent people because of their ethnic and cultural background and so forth. I mean, that's kind of steeped in some evil to begin with. So let's get that out of the way. Anybody who talks bad about Disney because you feel like it's an inconvenient truth, again, welcome to a world where master's graduate students take classes and have to deal with the same kind of conversation as it concerns an inconvenient truth to all fellow white folks out there who don't want to talk about the very systematic and historically racist institutions that this country has produced over its long, illustrious career of harboring the very kinds of criminal acts that today we still continue to harbor by namely electing a criminal to be the founder or the leader of the free world, rather, So, like, again, it's the truth. And if the truth bothers you, if a young lady expressing her political ideas to the world bothers you, I think that there might be something more wrong with you than there could possibly ever be with a functioning young lady that is in a situation that she's actually deciding to speak about things that matter and not just her professional acting career and starring in some movie that again is cool, right? Because it's not made for adults to pontificate over. It's literally, this is all very ironic. Adults out there, this movie was not made for you. Just because you want to punish this young lady by not taking your children to go see this movie doesn't mean that in and of itself you aren't the very problem and at the very core of what's wrong with this country, because you again, like, you don't want to take your kid to see a movie because of how a girl playing the lead actress in said movie feels about Palestine, namely, that bothers you, like freeing people around the world because of their, persecution. And I mean, I wouldn't like to be evacuated from my home. I know that my community, I know that any community here in the territorial United States of America would just absolutely have a fit if some regime just try to come in, and make rules and arbitrary laws and make you leave force by force. I just, it doesn't make any sense to me, and it shouldn't. And it shouldn't bother, like, the truth shouldn't bother adults. It should actually motivate them to seek change, be the agent of change you seek. And that's something that Gandhi said or something. I don't know. The point of the matter is like, I truly don't understand how functioning, well-to-do, civilized people are trying to gaslight and, moreover, trying to harm financially. This, again, they're doing the very thing they don't want this young lady to do, and by doing so, they're actually, I would argue, creating more of a victim by doing this to a young lady, by making her feel like the movie is tanking because adults don't like it. Well, I'm curious to see what the 6-year-old kid has to say about a movie that was literally made for them. Okay, so I'm getting literally turned off by the idea that adults have any right whatsoever to come in the way of a film that was made for their children because they feel a certain type of way about that actress. I support that actress. Like, so what? She thought it, like, the prince was a creep. And, like, I mean, that's how she felt about it. I'm sorry. Like, again, that's not what is being said in the movie. It's almost as if people fantasize and thought that she was somehow Snow White in a movie and was promoting a message of free Palestine within the movie itself. And I'd argue that that's something that, wouldn't go over so wrong with people like me and with functioning brains, so far as it would be actually aimed at some kind of truth propaganda. Because the truth of the matter is Palestine needs to be free. It needs recognition. It needs sovereign identification and recognition from other countries, so that the United States and Israel do not continue to commit the very G word that we all know is happening, and that we all, for some reason, defend by bringing Israel into a conversation that involves Jewish people, when in and of itself, those are two different things. And the support of Jewish people is not questioned. What is absolutely being questioned is the treatment of the people from the Israeli government. Again, two categorically different things. So I'm just saying, free Palestine, go Snow White. If you guys have the means, or if you got kids, take them to see this movie. Who cares what you think about it? Like, I mean, it doesn't matter. The Rotten Tomato view count or whatever, it's almost as if she made so many people mad that were of boomer age, I'm absolutely certain of it, that people are now trying to attack her and blame the failure of 200. Again, Disney's not that stupid. You guys, be real with yourself. You feel me? Like, so what if she feels a certain type of way? You gotta respect that. Just so much as, she's gotta respect living in a world that doesn't want to recognize and provide sovereignty to Palestine. And, again, like, it goes both ways. If we're going to live in a world that's on fire, you can't be mad at the people that are saying, hey, the world's on fire. I mean, because it doesn't make any sense. It absolutely doesn't make any sense to continue to attack a young lady just because she speaks the truth. I don't care. It's not like she's breaking any laws, any IP laws. She's not dressing up like Snow White and running up and down the street saying free Palestine. That might be a compromise and a conflict of, obviously, all the different types of things that can be enforced. One thing that cannot be enforced is the dismissal of the truth. it should not be like this, guys. Ladies, gentlemen, they, them, go see the new Snow White. Or don't. Just buy tickets online to support the movie so that people can't outright come out and say that the failure of a $250 million budgeted film is single handedly in the hands of, what if people weren't going to see the movie because the other lead actress does support Israel? Like, okay, that, I mean, what, like, that would actually be kind of cool, because supporting Israel right now is, again, supporting literal government sanctioned murder on a level that you cannot comprehend because you are that selfish and you cannot think about anything other than yourself. So that's not my problem. You feel me? It's not anyone's problem. It's not Snow White's problem. It'll never be her problem. It's your problem. So I encourage you do things to address that. And sooner than later, because, as we continue to debate these very basic human right concepts, people are losing their lives, like, by the thousands. And so, yeah, like, I don't want to be a part of that. You shouldn't either. But yet you guys continue to gaslight people for telling the truth and for feeling a certain type of way about things that are happening and responding in kind, because that's exactly what happens when we continue to act the way that we do and support the kind of governments that target and seek out and exploit underprivileged populations because they want to, because they feel like they can pillage and suffer. It makes zero sense. It'll never make sense. So yeah, what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong, folks. And I think right now the right thing to do is to actually support the young lady and the actress that just played Snow White, because the things that are coming out of her mouth are actually the truth. And all that you're hearing is the movie is bad and it's not to go see, but you're not actually hearing why they're mad, why people are mad, namely conservative, far right-wing extreme news networks and Nepo baby boomers. You feel me? Like, this is, again, not their world. They'd like you to believe that it is, but it truly is not. And so they've had their time. The world's still on fire. They didn't do much with their time. The young lady wants to do something with her time. There's nothing wrong with that. Shout Snow White, you feel me? I hope you guys have a really good night. Thanks for watching my show. My name is Albert. This was Vlogs About Nothing. And if you're not already a subscriber, smash the subscribe button. It helps the channel out a lot. So, bye.